Hello, everybody. My name is Pasquale Nestico. I am a cardiologist and clinical professor of medicine and cardiology at Thomas Jefferson Hospital in Philadelphia. I came from a small town in Calabria, Italy, named Isca sullo Ionio. It is situated in a beautiful locations, exactly 5 minutes from the Ionic Sea. And I basically spent my youth in the hometown and until I was 21 years old when I came into America. By then, I had spent 4 years of my life working as a bricklayer with my father, who was a master in what he was doing. And after that, because I was crying and I was upset because I didn't like that kind of work, I convinced my father and my mother to send me back to school, and from where I got a diploma. So with a diploma and without speaking the English language, is that I came into America at the age of 21 years old with the rest of the family, my mother, my brother, and my younger sister. My father was already in America, and before him, my sister Elvira, who married an American citizen, came to America. So my father decided to come to the United States to get to the family together. So as any other immigrant, I came here with the hopes to a better life, and after spending a year and a half learning what I could of the English language, I enrolled myself to University of Villanova, and at night time I graduated as electrical engineering in 3.5 years, when usually takes 8 years. While in the meantime I was working with the Westinghouse Electrical Corporation, first as a motor winder, then as a designer, and then a week after I graduated from Villanova University, they gave me a position of electrical engineering. I loved that kind of work, but I had another mission in life, and that was to go into medical school. But I didn't know that I could go into medical school from engineering, because back in Italy, that was not possible, until one of my friends at Westinghouse Electrical Corporation said goodbye to me. And I said, "Where are you going?" So I'm going to quit Westinghouse because I was accepted into medical school. And that was it. I couldn't sleep anymore. And I quit from the Walton Institute in University of Pennsylvania, where I was accepted for my MBA, to go back to Villanova and Drexel University to take pre-medical courses that I was missing. And finally, after 3 years of pre-med, I was able to be accepted into medical school. And on December 24th, 1976, I got the call of a lifetime. That was the most beautiful day of my life. So 3 days later, 3 days before actually, I got married with my wife Anna, and therefore September 1st I began medical school at Temple University, Temple Medical Schools. So there were 4 years of hard work. In the meantime, my wife and I, we had 3 beautiful children, Aurelio, Concetta, and Saverio, while I was in medical school. I was able to graduate on top of probably 5% of my class. I was enrolled in the Alpha Omega Alpha Honorary Society. I won several awards, and I graduated with a lot of happiness with my family as well. Then I went to Hahnemann University and hospital to do my residency, followed my fellowship in choreology. I won several awards for that, and finally after I finished my choreology training, I was able to open a beautiful office in South Philadelphia. I was heavily involved in research to the point that when I finished my choreology fellowship, I had already 30 publications in the most respected medical and choreology journals. Today, you're lucky if you have a 1 or 2 publication, and because of that, I was given directly the position as assistant professor of medicine, and 5 years later, I became an associate professor, and 5 years later, I became a full professor. So I was 52 years of age, and normally it takes 30 years to reach that goal. I was able to open up a beautiful practice eventually in the South Philadelphia, where I live and where I raised my family, with my wife being a housewife. And we lived in one apartment with 1 bedroom, and eventually that house became my first choreology office. Therefore, after that, I moved to where I am now, where I built a beautiful clinic of 3 floors, and my group is made of 90 choreologists. And today, my daughter works with me as a choreologist, and that's the most joy that a father could have when one of his children follow the footsteps. So I've been in practice now since 1985 as a choreologist, and in my spare time, believe it or not, a busy choreologist also has some spare time. I devoted it to the 3rd sector, and I started an organization which is called Philitalia International. It was first Philitalia, meaning love for Italy, and connection with Italy, and funded by children from Italy, which eventually grew into a Philitalia National, and now it's Philitalia International with more than 20 chapters, both in USA and Italy and elsewhere. We have a beautiful center in the most prestigious location in South Philadelphia. We call it Little Italy, of 3 stores plus the basement, which houses a beautiful museum. We call him History of Italian Immigration Museum. Philitalia International, it has become ente gestore, which means that we receive funding from the Italian government to distribute them to schools that teach the Italian language and culture. And I am thankful to God for what I was able to achieve, and always trying to follow as a choreologist, to follow the proper diet, the proper exercise. And I was able to take care of my parents. My father lived to be 98 and my mother lived to be 96. And I was their choreologist. And I was able to write a book. It's called Isca of Philadelphia, from Isca, which is my hometown, to Philadelphia, which is very well received. And we sell it for $16, and also through Amazon, and the money collected will go to Philitalia Foundation. And So I finish by saying that avere con noi nostro padre e nostra madre in età avanzata è come essere affiancati quotidianamente da maestri di vita, which in English means having our elderly father or mother still with us is like being accompanied every day by true masters of living. And I wanted to give one more quotation, and that is from Aristotele. La grandezza non consiste nel ricevere onori, ma nel meritarli. Greatness consists in deserving honors, not in receiving them. From Aristotele. I finally wanted to say that I was able to be honored by the Italian government, first with the title of Cavaliere, then with the title of Commendatore, and now with the title of Grande Ufficiale. I love Italy as I love my mother, and I love America as I love my father, and I love both of them equally. Thank you.
Se vedrò le luci di New York, da lontano ogni volta sentirò che sarà di nuovo casa mia. Un cuore che batte forte, vola via.